1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Oh, man.
He's on a roll now, Billy.
Coach K has the record. They are playing around. Oh, Shannon Brown.
Chambliss.
Three-pointer, got it! Here's the man from Harlem. Got it! You can't give him room. Rondo. Oh, perfectly executed. Trump with a sledgehammer. They just want to put it in overdrive.
Belton gets it up.
Lowry. Oh, my goodness. He leaves fumes out there, Burns.
Gonna be some stuff you're gonna see.
And hello once again, everyone. I'm Greg Gumbel. Welcome to our New York studios and to CBS Sports' continuing coverage of the 2005 NCAA Men's Basketball Championship Tournament. Last night, 4 teams advanced. Tonight, 4 more will do the same to complete the Elite 8 and set the stage for the regional finals tomorrow and Sunday. We begin tonight's doubleheader action with number 5 seed Michigan State challenging top seed Duke in the Austin bracket. And then about 17 minutes after that game tips, we'll take some of you to Syracuse for that regional semifinal between number 10 seed North Carolina State and 6th seed Wisconsin. For those of you in the North Carolina area, both the Duke and the NC State games will be available. Check your local listings. Tipping at about 9:40 Eastern Time, the second game in Austin pits number 6 seed Utah against 2nd seed Kentucky, and at about 10 Eastern Time back in Syracuse, Villanova, the 5th seed, tangles with top seed North Carolina. Surprise, I'm joined by my partners on the road to the Final Four, Clark Kellogg and Seth Davis of Sports Illustrated. Let's talk about who we like in these games, beginning with Michigan State against Duke. Clark?
Well, you talk about Michigan State. I love their athleticism on the perimeter and their depth. I think those are the areas where they'll have a chance to be better defensively than they were in the first meeting when they lost to Duke by 7 in Durham. Allen Anderson epitomizes that versatility. As a 4-man, he gets matched up with big guys who he can take advantage of out on the perimeter, and he's also a very versatile defender. That's where I think Michigan State has the advantage, and that's why I like them to move forward.
But they are going to have to execute during the last couple of minutes of the game, Clark, and that has been Michigan State's problem. And when you're talking about execution against Duke, you're talking about stopping J.J. Redick, who only went for 29 points the first time that they played. Duke as a whole made 55% from behind the arc. Michigan State has the athletes to contain Redick, but he is more than just a shooter. They're going to also have to stop his dribble penetration, hopefully try to get him or Sheldon Williams in foul trouble. I think that's too much to ask, and I think Duke's going to win.
All right, a couple of these games have the feel of the kind of games we saw last night, which would only be great, and that's one of them. Let's talk about North Carolina State, Wisconsin.
Well, when you look at North Carolina State, you talk about a team that's ridden the leadership and stellar play of their outstanding player, Julius Hodge. He is a stat sheet stuffer supreme in that he's able to do everything. He has 15 assists and only 4 turnovers in the 2 tournament games, and he's made every big play they've needed to have made. I look for him to really be the difference in this game. I'm going with the best player theory, which I fell away from last night, but I'm back on it this time tonight. I think North Carolina State, because of Hodge, he's the difference maker.
I agree with you. I think NC State is going to win the game. Hodge is a big reason. I think he'll also need to have a big defensive effort. Everybody will against Mike Wilkinson of Wisconsin, who I think has been the best player in the Big Ten, who doesn't play for Illinois. And remember, this is a team that really doesn't have a point guard, a true point guard. And with Wilkinson's size, he's second on the team in assists. He makes 37% from three-point range. I think NC State would do well to put Julius Hodge on Wilkinson, because I think with Wilkinson, you need to beat him with your speed and not with your size. But I do think NC State's going to win.
All right, our second game's Utah and Kentucky. That's a 6 seed against a 2 seed. Who do you like in that game?
I like Utah. The best player theory, Andrew Bogut. Oklahoma's bigs are a lot better than Kentucky's bigs. If they can take care of that pumpkin, they're going to squeeze Kentucky right out of this tournament.
Yeah, I agree. They have to play through Bogut, though. In that game against Oklahoma, they let the other guys get going before they went to Bogut. I think Utah has to establish him early and often in the paint to have a chance to beat Kentucky, but I like Utah.
And as if Villanova didn't have enough trouble, they're going to have to play against North Carolina tonight, minus Curtis Sumter. What do you think?
Well, the Tar Heels have been very, very impressive. The most impressive team outside of Louisville in the tournament to this point. I think they roll. Villanova has been pesky defensively, but they can't handle North Carolina in a track meet type game. That's the only way they can play. North Carolina, I think, wins convincingly.
Yeah, North Carolina's going to have more trouble in their next game because it will be a slower game. Villanova wants to run, and that's exactly what the Tar Heels want.
We're going to be off and running in just a bit. The road to the Final Four continues after this word from your local station.
We welcome you to Syracuse and this regional semifinal. The 10th-seeded North Carolina State Wolfpack against the 6th-seed Wisconsin Badgers out of the Big Ten. First time these two teams have ever met. And the winner of this game advances
to the winner of our last game tonight, North Carolina, the top seed against Villanova. That one comes up in about 2.5 hours. Good evening, everybody. Vern Lundquist along with Bill Raftery. Bill, a really distinctive style for each of these two teams.
They're patient, they take good shots, but they're different in that they like to throw the ball in the post on the Wisconsin side, have you double, kick it out for threes, and then the old Princeton offense of North Carolina State, they back cut, but they have a center who can make plays. That's very important in that set.
Let's take a look at the starting lineups for Herb Sendek, who is in his 9th season as the North Carolina State head coach. Andrew Brackman, Ilian Evtimov, Julius Hodge, Cameron Bennerman, and Engin Atsur, the starting 5. Bo Ryan in his 4th season as the head coach at Wisconsin. His starting 5, senior dominated, Mike Wilkinson, Zach Morley, Alondo Tucker, the sophomore, Sharif Chambliss, and Clayton Hansen. Game is brought to you in HD TV by Harris Corporation, the world leader in broadcast systems for high-definition television. The officiating crew, Ed Corbett, Vern Harris, he spells it correctly, and Joseph B. Lindsay. And we're underway. And here we go. Chased down by Evtimov.
And Vern Lundquist. Wisconsin, go! Minute!
This is Atsur. Now Evtimov. Right side, Brackman, the freshman. Morley out on him. Tipped and out of bounds. It'll be North Carolina State.
And they like to move the big people. Nice job by Wilkinson getting a hand on the basketball.
Here's Hodge. Picked up by Hansen.
Hansen, very good defender.
Back outside, Brackman, penetrate and push. And there's the first shot of the game, missed by Evtimov. And the rebound comes down to the hands of Sharif Chambliss.
Vern, they run that little shuffle cut, lock you in the box area. Everybody gets a chance in the low post for Wisconsin.
Morley has had a good run in the Big Ten tournament and the first 2 NCAA games. There's Tucker up and blocked by Brackman. Out of bounds, it'll be North Carolina State ball.
Boy, has this kid improved. I saw him early in the year, Brackman, Vern. He understands how to guard. He had a great block last week against UConn, then ran out, and he's a solid provider of defense that trip.
Engin Atsur out of Istanbul, Turkey. Gets it to Evtimov from Sofia, Bulgaria.
And he can make a play, can't he?
Yes, indeed.
Unfortunately, a turnover. This is a tough dilemma for a coach when you play North Carolina State. Should you get up in them, try and deny, know you're going to get back cut, get embarrassed, or should you back off when they make 3? So right now it looks like Wisconsin's being aggressive.
Here's Tucker. Quick step off the glass and a foul.
Well, he's a multifaceted performer. Can step outside, the ability to post up, and explosive to the tin. I mean, that's no defense reacting very well in the back, but Brackman unable to contain. That's a tough matchup for him.
Tucker shoots a free throw. He has really improved his free throw shooting in the last 7 to 10 games. Had 15 of 18 the other night in the win over Bucknell.
And up to 68% there, too. If he can put it on the floor and get to the rim, he'll get to the free throw line frequently.
Minute and a half gone by. It's a 3-0 Wisconsin lead. Expectation that this game will be in the 60s. There's a jump shot by Bennerman, cans it and ties it up.
Hey, I think he's provided a big lift to this basketball team. An excellent defender. He's teamed up with Hansen, who's a great outside shooter. He can lock people up. Brendan Plavic in the second half of the game against Charlotte. Brendan did a great job.
There's the entry pass to Tucker, kick out to Morley. He likewise kicks it over to Hansen for 3. Not there. Morley with the putback.
He does a great job. I mean, really gets in position to dominate on the glass. Clever, really understands the game. Zach Morley with the hair out of his eyes. He's effective.
Yeah. Gotten a more modest haircut here this year.
The flop look.
Here's Julius Hodge, guarded by Hansen, the senior. Hodge misses. Rebound in the hands of Evtimov. Held ball, possession arrow Badgers.
And that's where Hodge has gotten better, I think. Shot selection, making the jump shot. He's broadened his game, and of course, with the bounce, he's tough to defend.
Now Sharif Chambliss, who began his collegiate career at Penn State. He was there for 3 years, started the last 2. Hansen, Morley. 5-3, Wisconsin lead.
Everybody staying at home. Real good job defending. Wilkinson loves to backstep here. They set it up. That's scouting, Vern. And they know he's going to come back to that left shoulder. Just interesting as kids perform and pay attention to their coaches. Good things usually happen. I mean, that was the anticipated excellent coverage.
Wilkinson picks up his first. North Carolina State with the basketball. NC State, a team that comes into the record with 21 and into the game with a record of 21-13.
Remember, this is what they like to do with Hodge. If you're going to double, he'll find somebody. If not, he usually completes. I think he got his own tip, didn't he?
I think he did. Hodge ties it up at 5. Now Chambliss.
Nice cut by Tucker. Too deep. Just easy, huh? But Wilkinson, they get up on him, Vern, because he's got the ability to knock down deep shots.
Orlando Tucker's got 4. Wisconsin leads at 7-5.
See, I could picture you playing this offense, Vern.
You can, because
step, cut, be patient. They get some good open looks, and when you can make threes like that, huh? Bennerman, Cameron on fire.
That's Bennerman. He's hitting 39% from three-point range, and he cans that one. And it gives North Carolina State a 1-point edge.
They both use both sides of the floor. See Wilkinson posting up. Now, if you want to double, they stay behind the three-point line.
Wilkinson tries to use the glass unsuccessfully. And here's State with this 1-point edge, under 16 now in the first half.
Step and back cut, balance the floor. You got your post up.
Working the clock down. It's now at 13. Hodge offense. A little flop.
A little Vlade Divac.
Time call. Back in Syracuse, North Carolina State leading by 1, 8-7. First sub on the floor for North Carolina State, Jordan Collins, number 32. Playing with a still separated right shoulder, hampered by that.
Regional with 7:42 remaining in the first half. Duke 18, Michigan State 16.
Morley inbounds the ball and puts it in the hands of Sharif Chambliss.
You mentioned Collins coming in. He's clever around the post. Big thing, I think, is being patient defensively for both teams. They'll use a lot of the clock, Vern, and boy, they are running out on the shooters, aren't they?
Here's Morley, cans it, and Wisconsin back on top.
Nice extra pass by Wilkinson.
There's Julius Hodge. Hansen still has responsibility for him. Collins comes out to set the screen. Evtimov from way outside.
Unbelievable range. Fluid. Imagine him without knee problems during his career. He's an excellent passer, great feel for the game, and can drag. This nice little screen. They get the push before. But both teams rely on ball movement. Kick it around the horn. Let everybody get a touch. And this time Morley, who can beat you with follows or knock down jumpers, and the ability to drag the D out. Wilkinson a little uncomfortable that far from the rim guarding his opponent.
Evtimov with the 3. It's an 11-9 score. Now Hansen comes out. Sharif Chambliss. Hodge on Tucker. Orlando Tucker, the sophomore from Lockport, Illinois. There's Wilkinson taken away.
Henkin, huh? An aggressive maneuver.
Little fake, and Bennerman slams it home.
How about that? Just great hustle on the one man. Atzer just taking it away. And then that strong completion.
That caught the attention of Bo Ryan. He's going to send 2 men in. One of whom is going to be Andreas Helmig. Here's Tucker again. No foul call. Shot too strong. North Carolina State. Here's Hodge.
They'll push but make good decisions. They're not going to rush and throw it up. eat that clock and get a good one.
Principles of the old Princeton offense from Pete Carrill, but not the same.
And as he told us, he's never really spoken to Pete about this offense, so a lot of it gleaned from his friendships in coaching. Predominantly when he was in the Midwest, met a couple of guys from Ohio, and now understands it thoroughly, and his team does, which is more important.
Now here's Andreas Helmig, who's on the floor. And Cameron Taylor, number 23, who is usually the first man on. He's got the ball in his hands right now. Taylor had a big Big Ten tournament.
And he can really put it on the floor quick. Nice roll to go. Look at that help again. This time, let him off.
Another steal. Answer. Yes.
How unselfish was Enemov? He had an open look, decided why not? The little guy can ring the bell from deep, almost 40%.
Raining threes for North Carolina State. They are perfect. 4 of 4. And up by a 16-9 score. Benneman gets called for this one.
That's that closeout and the benefit of being able to put it on the deck. They want to take away that three-point shot, and you bounce and get by.
Bo Ryan's going back to his bench. Ray Nixon is on the floor. Brian Butch also.
Butch got a nice touch from deep, Vern. I think it'll be a nice prospect. Next year he'll have all the minutes he wants. Wilkinson will have graduated to probably being the best basketball player, dairy farmer in the country.
Yes, he will. Wilkinson top of the key. Here's Cameron Taylor.
A nice slip and coverage.
They look inside for Wilkinson on this swing offense of Bo Ryan.
Nice
beauty.
They like to give him room to dominate like that. He's quicker than that big body implies.
Wilkinson at 6'8". Nice post moves there. And it's a 16-11 score with 12:24 to go. First half. Gavin Grant's on the floor now for North Carolina State. He has the ball. Tucker, chest up. Offensive foul. Near the end of tonight's game, we'll select a Chevrolet player of the game from each team to honor their determination and outstanding play. Chevrolet will make a $1,000 contribution to each university's General Scholarship Fund. Chevy and American Revolution.
They run a clear out for the big guy. He may have walked, and they get the call out. A nice job defensively containing with the bounce. But Wilkinson, one of those guys that you really want to scrape down there and do some damage on him. Get him before he puts it on the deck, I think, because he is extremely quick in the post area.
Turnovers now even at 4. Team fouls, big disparity. North Carolina State has picked up 6. Wisconsin only 1.
Look how both clubs drag you away from the rim, and Hodge here with some strength on Butch.
See who they get, Nixon or Butch, and it will be Butch. Brian Butch, redshirt freshman out of Appleton, Wisconsin. 11:47 to go first half. 5 points. State lead. .47 to go first half. North Carolina State, Wisconsin. It has been the NC State ability from long range that's given them the lead. 4 of 4. And they have a chance to increase the lead now as Julius Hodge will be at the line shooting 2. Julius Hodge, who 4 years ago made a decision between Syracuse or North Carolina State, and opted for State. Then his team is a freshman. Misses the first. Led NC State to 4 straight tournaments. 2004 Player of the Year. Elected to come back to get his college degree. He's majoring in theater communications. And as a freshman, the North Carolina State team came up here and played Syracuse. He went to the foul line 10 times in that game, Bill. And they knew.
He heard about it.
Yeah.
The decision.
Absolutely.
And tonight, nothing, though. It's amazing.
Yeah. And we have, I think, close to 32,000 here for this first of 2 games. Wilkinson with a miss, Hodge with a rebound.
Hansen and Wilkinson had 2 good looks. Look at the push of the ball. Wow.
In and out, Wilkinson clears it. And Cameron Taylor will run for the Badgers. It's Taylor, Ray Nixon, Morley, Wilkinson, and Alondo Tucker on the floor right now.
Vern, everybody stays above the three-point line. Look at this.
Beautiful entry pass.
A great maneuver underneath as well, Vern, to complement that pass. The ability to seal your guy off. And he does have some strength, Mike Wilkinson.
That is the 7th team foul in the early going. So bonus now for the final 11:08 for the Wisconsin Badgers. Wilkinson.
State has played great defense, Vern. A couple of steals, but right here, the big guy's got unbelievable strength to seal his man off and just beg for that basketball. Take a hit, normally knocks that one down and goes to the line for the 3rd.
2 for Mike Wilkinson. The margin is 4 with 11:08 to go, first half.
I was asking some of the staff, does Mike Wilkinson do anything wrong? And what did Gary Close, the assistant, say? He said, well, he didn't brush his teeth the other day.
That's the worst they could come up with.
Oh, great student. Did everything he was asked of him.
Here's Evtimov. Work the perimeter. Gavin Grant back outside. Collins.
They like to slap back and get you to 3. Little flare screen to the open look.
And there is the open look from Etzer. Boy, that was patience personified.
He told both of us Dirk Nowitzki is his favorite player. And I go, wait a second. How about Hedo Turkoglu? Oh, yeah, I like him too. Both long-range bombers.
Here's Evtimov with the rebound into the hands of Etzer. His mother, Renata, is German. That may be the Nowitzki.
I think you're right, and they are loading them up.
Holy cow.
Whew. Boy, that offense looks pretty good when you're drilling them from downtown. Downtown, la-da-da-da. And right now, and Etzer able to get a little nylon, Vern Lundquist, with regularity.
NC State 6 of 6 from beyond the arc, and they've jumped out to a 10-point lead. And Bill, you made the point during the break that tough for Wisconsin to get if they get too far behind.
Yeah, they're not a quick-hitting team. Their problem's been defense. They're not really getting over the top of what I call the slapback pass. We'll see a few more where they dribble at the defender and then pop it back for an open 3. They've done it beautifully. And right away after a timeout, that's what great coaches do. Go inside to the big fella. Let him do some damage. Ride that horse, Vern.
Mike Wilkinson, he's got 6. And there's a steal, and here comes Sharif Chambliss back on the floor for the Wisconsin Badgers. Look for Wilkinson.
I'm just thinking so much for swing, right? Just get it into him. They didn't reverse it.
Travel.
Good defense in the box and on the ball. Harassing the ball doesn't permit the look, and Gavin Grant did a great job in his post defense.
And that brings Bo Ryan up. He's working the official on the sideline. 23-15, 9:35 to go. Here's Gavin Grant, number 11. He is joined by Evtimov, Collins, Julius Hodge. Hodge with 3 assists in the game, and each of the 3 has led to a 3-pointer.
It's amazing. That's that spread, the spacing. They're fighting over the top a little bit better. Now here's how they use the screen. A little hide and seek. Nice job jamming it up by Hansen and Morley.
Now Hansen comes out, but Hodge gets the shot short. 3-point shots, Bill.
Well, Vern Lundquist, you said 3. There's 1 slap back. There's 2. And then you occasionally slide in a flare screen. Hatzer knocks that one down, another slap back. With regularity, you got to get over the top.
8-point game. Here's Chambliss. Clayton Hanson, the senior, was a walk-on, now on scholarship. Morley, nice strong drive, but he got too far under.
Yeah, court awareness, knowing where you are and what you can do.
Hodge slips it to Evtimov off the glass, not good.
But that was an illegal screen. He got away with one. Ooh. If it works, right?
Morley out on top. Zach Morley, number 44. Now Mike Wilkinson has led this Wisconsin team.
Gavin Grant's doing a very good job on Orlando here, Tucker. And whether it's in or out, his post defense has been excellent.
Shot clock under 10.
Nice slip and walk again. The interior defense stepping up. I mean, they have been very alert. Once again, Gavin Grant in the right spot.
Wisconsin, in its last 5 games, has averaged only 7 turnovers per game. They've really done a good job of protecting the ball. Already in the first half, 6 turnovers.
And for the year, 11.
Right.
That's incredibly low. Now, they don't make mistakes. They usually don't hurt themselves. This is the end. They're going to have to toughen up.
Brackman back on the floor now, the freshman out of Cincinnati's Moeller High School. Foul away from the ball.
I think Etimov will go to the line.
7 minutes, 46 seconds to go, first half. Mike Wilkinson on the bench with 2 personal fouls and also a real anomaly. He has committed 5 of the 6 turnovers here in the first half.
And Vernie only averages 1 a game, but a lot of them were walks, and all of a sudden you think you're free, and this state defense gets involved. And here's a hole by Helmig. It's one way of stopping your guy. Don't let him run.
Coming up on Singular at the half, Greg Gumbel, Clark Kellogg, and Seth Davis will get you updated on all the latest tournament news. Plus a live look in at Michigan State Duke and a Singular Naismith update. That's all coming up on Singular at the half. Brian Butch back on the floor now for Andreas Helmig, the 25-year-old Austrian.
There's a little flex screen and a back screen. Nice little add-on to their 2-3 look.
Here's Atzer, backs it back out. Brackman, Evtimov. Cameron Bennerman calls for it. It's kicked out of bounds. A fresh 35 for North Carolina State.
It's really hard to guard. I mean, you've got to teach yourself mentally to be patient. We used to play Princeton every year, right? And I told the kids we had to win for, you know, it's a game, but also you might be working for these guys the rest of your life, as you know. But it really, inside, you can only play maybe 15, 20 seconds when you're going to have to play 30 to 35 on the defensive end. And then there's a slip, and they take advantage.
Now, really interesting when Herb Sendek told us yesterday that he has never met Pete Carrill.
It's amazing.
So many of the principles of this offense are from the Princeton school.
A lot of tape work, I'm sure.
Yes.
Pete always felt it could work in the pros. Down to 7, Vern.
5 on the shot clock. Here's a jumper from Grant, in and out. And the rebound in the hands of Chambliss.
You know, neither club getting easy baskets, so this is one of those grinders.
6:42 to go first half. Tucker goes to his right. No call.
Pretty good defensive play, too. Let him off, and here's another walk. I mean, the runouts, they're not letting them shoot the 3, and hesitant to put it on the deck. Oh, Bo not real happy with his club right now. They are struggling on the offensive end, and usually they're a well-oiled machine. You've had them during the year.
Right. Saw them against Michigan State. That was a game in which they came from 8 down with a minute and a half to play. Scored the final 11.
That was at Wisconsin, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Where they are terrific.
They're flawless. The Kohl Center.
They're having trouble tonight. A team that's 24-8 against this North Carolina State team that really came on toward the end of the year. And there's another foul underneath, this one on Butch.
And that time they didn't react. Three-quarter, you got to get in position, get to the baseline, and get your help from the top sides. He gambles on the sellout on the top side. He never can recover, Butch. That's part of learning the game, too. This big guy, McDonald's All-American out of high school, and Wilkinson is the one that influenced him deciding to redshirt last year because Mike did it, and it really enhanced his game. So I look for him to be a big performer for Bo next year.
Cameron Taylor's back on for Wisconsin. And at the line, Cedric Simmons, the freshman from Charlotte, North Carolina.
The State has not been able to spread much, even though Wisconsin is struggling. I mean, they're right there, 9 points.
Largest lead was at 23-10. Here's Cameron Taylor. Tucker and Butch, Morley, and Clayton Hansen for the Badgers.
And they got Brackman here. Never got back in position as Morley. They were a little back screen, get him to the box. They just can't get the flow going. I think State's been very disruptive.
That is the second foul on Andrew Brackman, and Zach Morley will go to the line. Tuesday on The Amazing Race, a car accident puts one team in peril, and a Cape Challenge could be the most dangerous ever. Don't miss a new Amazing Race Tuesday at 9, 8 Central on CBS. Morley 2 for 2.
Now they could use a couple of trips where they pop the ball around, get a little rhythm in their offense. Wisconsin, and at this end, button down the slapback pass. Look at Butch again, the sellout. Come on, big fella, get in position. You can't gamble there. It opens the door.
Simmons. And it's back to a 26-17 game with 5:34 to go. Another travel.
Wow. Not putting it down on the deck. Well, this kind of defense gets you a seat on the Pines and not a solid play. Go high side, nobody in position. You don't have your defense organized. That's just a bad gamble by the big guy.
How about this for a stat, Bill? Wisconsin, we played almost 15 minutes. 6 field goals, 8 turnovers.
Well, that'll put you in the hat factory quickly.
Here's Simmons.
Look at the pump fake, and Morley drawn to him because he knows he can shoot the ball.
And
I mean, they just put you on a string, don't they?
Bo Ryan is going deep, deep into his bench now. He's got Jason Chappell on the floor. Doesn't play all that much, number 5.
Famous dad.
Lenny Chappell, his father, was a teammate of Billy Packer's at Wake Forest on that 1962 Final Four team.
Billy says he made him an All-American.
I was saying that, I'm thinking he was Billy Packer's teammate. Maybe it was more like Billy Packer was Lenny Chappell's teammate. They both could play.
I'll tell you, I happened to see one of their games in the NCAA to get a hook on this particular play. They were a great team. Lenny later on a terrific pro.
There's Jason Chappell. Got a brother John who plays at South Carolina.
And I saw a note where he was looking for some of his father's old tapes, you know, to try to tease Dad a little bit, I'm sure. But when he was playing, there were film.
Yeah, and it was black and white.
Yeah.
Absolutely true.
And I was in that era myself. Pretty
off the glass, Tucker.
Oh, goodness. Get him some touches. He's got a great feel, I think.
Tucker with 7 points. Chappell guarding Simmons. And here's Engin Etzer from Istanbul, Turkey. Hansen fell down. Hodge calls for it.
That was interesting. Look how low he gets. He actually is close to the floor there.
Hodge works on Hansen. The double comes from Chappell. Etzer. There's a miss. Ball on the floor. Wisconsin has it. Cameron Taylor.
A little more life to their defense. Set this flow up, Vern. Oh, not a good play. Another one. Is that 9?
That's 9.
Oh, the ability to maneuver offensively. You got to bounce that pill. A little kiss for Lundqvist in Syracuse on a beautiful day.
North Carolina State up by 7. They've gotten there by hitting 6 of 8 from 3. And Wisconsin, a team that's averaged only 7 turnovers in the last 5 games, already billed with 9 turnovers in this one.
I could hear Bo Ryan saying, in Chester, we don't turn the ball over. A tough guy, and his team responds to him, but they're not getting shots. You must get shots. There you can get some rebounds, and obviously the opponent, like State, knows how to run their offense, get good looks, particularly the threes on the slapback pass.
In trying to find answers, Bo Ryan has already gone 10 deep. He's played 10 in the first half.
And they haven't played good post defense. Right now, Nixon inside trying to defend. Here's that slapback.
Here's Julius Hodge, kind of a quiet first half. That one misfires. And Jason Chappell, a seldom used tall post player at 6'10", grabs the rebound. Largest lead in the ball game was 10 at 23-13 for North Carolina State.
Boy, State's done a great job scouting. They just took that stagger, and look at the denial.
And if you're a Wisconsin fan just joining us and you're wondering where is Mike Wilkinson, he's on the bench with 2 fouls, and he has committed 5 turnovers already.
And there's the guy that's got to light it up for him. With 4 seconds left, they got a tough shot under duress.
Jumper, Hodge off the mark.
It comes out a little bit funny, doesn't it, that shot? It looks like he's got his left hand on it too much. Of course, I'm telling the guy that sort of put this team on his shoulders the last month.
Julius Hodge, though, is 1 of 7 in this ball game. Hodge with that 3-point play to defeat UConn last week in the second round. Jumper way outside Chambliss, and he drew nothing but air. Winner of this one goes on to take on either North Carolina or Villanova on Sunday afternoon, with a spot in the Final Four in the balance. Interesting scene here with 30-some thousand on hand. Immediately behind Mike Wilkinson in the Wisconsin bench, the Carolina Blue, and they are seated right next to the North Carolina State Red.
Well, they are just committing fouls too. There's a lot of mistakes you don't see. Chappell that time with the leg thrust. The smoothness that you see of Wisconsin's offense all year, non-existent this first half. This is one of those, let's stay together and get inside. There's something about the comfort of a locker room for a coach. Hey, fellas, I mean, maybe a little coercing and maybe some X and O work done on the board, but just to get them back in this game, they are out of rhythm totally, and it's really a testimony to great preparation, I think, by State on the defensive end.
Ilian Evtimov will shoot another. Perfect this trip. 28-19 with 2:19 to go before the break. Evtimov he was asking yesterday, how many people did you say are going to be here? I said close to 32,000. Wow.
He and his brother, a great story, came over here to play high school basketball for a couple of years. Bosco ended up at Carolina. Another one, huh? Oh my goodness, they just can't get out of their own way.
Hell ball, possession there on North Carolina State.
They've just been defended beautifully. Nothing open. Look at the help. We've seen this from the beginning of the game. Engine, Atzer had stolen one early. Evtimov went down and played a passing lane. That's just great coordination.
Hodge 3 points, the rest of the team 25. He does have 3 assists, each of which led to a 3-point goal. He just turned around and he urged the stand
to wake up.
Yeah, give me a little noise here. How casual was that?
That's the wave I get at home.
And there's a jumper from way outside by Evtimov, and Wisconsin trying to find some offense against this really tenacious North Carolina State defense. No foul call.
And they got one here, Vern, under reach in by Atzer.
Watch Julius Hodge here as he walks it up. Come on. Come on.
Get on my back. Oh, and of course, in the Connecticut game, they tell me that Herbie was thinking timeout, and he said, Coach, don't worry about it. Let me handle this. And, of course, he drove off of Gay. A terrific finish in that game for State.
In and out for Tucker. Herbie Sendak in his 9th season as the head coach.
I'm glad I have you when we talk to Herbie. You were a much better student.
Oh, goodness.
You need a dictionary when you're saying hello to him.
He does have a vocabulary, doesn't he? He was a 3.95 grade point average graduate of Carnegie Mellon with a major in industrial management.
Unbelievable. He probably had to stay. He didn't go on summer vacation because he got that A-.
There's the miss on the reverse from Etzer, and here comes Wisconsin again. Down by 28-20, nearing the first half, and another turnover, and double digits now.
And Vern, you've got to do what you can do best. And I don't think the ability to bounce is something that you want Chappell doing, or Chappell, I should say.
Double-digit turnovers for Wisconsin.
And Vern, this is not as bad as it could be. That's one consolation for Wisconsin when they get in the locker room. This could be big for them. Good job. That's where you want to do the damage.
Well, Herb Sendek, we mentioned he was also valedictorian of his high school. He mentioned an abacus none of his kids were quite sure what. And I love this one. He was asked about matchups. He said, our paradigm is a little more holistic.
Well, it's, let me interpret that for you. It's the whole is more important than one part of the equation. It's over Brackman. How's he going to match up against the player, correct? Am I in the hunt?
You are.
I'm in the hunt.
See that LaSalle education?
Wow.
You never knew 35 years ago you'd have to call on that. Herb Sendek in his 9th season. He was the coach at Miami of Ohio. Became an assistant along with many others to Rick Pitino. He started out as a graduate assistant living in an apartment, not getting paid very much at all to Pitino back in the 80s. Went with Rick Pitino to the University of Kentucky, was on that staff with Billy Donovan and Mike Gray.
I guess he asked the priest of Providence if he could draw on his salary, and the old joke, they gave him crayons. He did not make much money, but when you love something, you have a passion as he does, he got his rewards.
Final 20 seconds. Here's Hodge. 10 on the shot clock, about a 2.2-second differential. Offense, little hook.
I think he may have been on the baseline as well.
Yes,
Vern.
okay. And with 5.8 to go in the half. Gavin Grant back on the floor for the Wolfpack.
Got a push.
Chambliss. And a blocking foul is called on Engenatsur. That's his second.
This is a big play, Vern. You get a chance for 2. You might get it to 8. He is moving, and the ref's right on top of it. And I'm sure Herbie didn't like it, but that's one of those. Just get to the baseline, challenge the jump shot. This could give them some life.
Well, they've still got a chance to pick up 1 here.
And this will be gathering the forces by Bo Ryan's. Got to get them calm, get their head in the game.
Chambliss, the senior, gets 1 of 2. And it's a 9-point game. That's the end of the first half with our score 30-21. We'll send you to Greg Gumbel in New York after these messages and a word from your local station.
CBS Sports presents Singular at the Half, sponsored by Singular, raising the bar.
Hi, everyone. Welcome once again to our CBS studios here in New York, to Singular at the Half. I'm Greg Gumbel, along with Clark Kellogg and Seth Davis. And the game that's taking place in Austin right now between Michigan State and Duke 32 all at halftime. They are coming to the end of their halftime break, and as soon as action resumes, we will take you there to join it live. Meanwhile, in the game you're watching, North Carolina State leading Wisconsin by a score of 30-21. The Badgers in double-figure turnovers. If they had retained the ball for half of that time and scored, they're right up there with the Wolfpack.
Uncharacteristically sloppy with the basketball in that first half, but they are only down 9 despite all of the turnovers and not getting high-quality shots. So it's a 3-possession game. They have to feel good. That's the consolation they take, even though they played very poorly, not only offensively, but defensively, a lot of careless fouls as well.
How about the Wolfpack three-pointers?
Well, that's something that gives you a lead in a hurry. They knocked down a bunch of threes. They made 10 field goals, Greg, in the first half. 6 of them were from behind the arc. And that's what they do. They spread you out. They've got a number of guys that can shoot it. How about Cameron Bennerman? He knocks down a pair. That's 2 of the 6. And then Eptimov from way downtown knocks one down. Answer, boom. And again, look at the defense. Not really challenging. Plenty of room and time for these shooters. Collins knocks one down. Again, an indication of poor play by Wisconsin, not getting out to the shooters aggressively in the half court.
Meanwhile, in that locker room, do you think Bo Ryan is saying anything about protecting the basketball?
Well, I think he's wondering where Mike Wilkinson is. I'm not sure where he is tonight, but somebody stole his jersey. He looks an awful lot like the guy, but he has 5 turnovers in the first half. Very uncharacteristic, and I think you really have to credit NC State's defense on this. And Wilkinson really just looks out of sort, out of rhythm, and he is not giving his team any kind of offensive punch. And the problem is, you say, well, they're only down 9 points, but this is going to be a low-scoring game. Every possession is going to matter a lot. In this game, a 9-point deficit is really like a 14 or 15-point deficit. If Mike Wilkinson doesn't bring his A game to the second half, the Badgers are headed back to Madison.
NC State, the 10 seed, Wisconsin, the 6 seed. North Carolina State leads it by a score of 30-21. We'll take a timeout, and Singular at the half will continue in just a moment.
CBS Sports exclusive coverage of the Men's Basketball Championship is sponsored by Autotrader.com, Wendy's, Miller, and by Pontiac.
Halftime in Syracuse, North Carolina State leading 30-21 in front of 30,000 or so friendly fans. Vern Lundquist along with Bill Raftery. Bill, impressions of the first half?
Well, you've heard the term getting your dander up.
Right.
I think the Irishman may have. Bo Ryan's team, when you don't recognize your team, it's a problem. They turned the ball over, didn't value it. They've got to get shots and be a little more precise on offense.
Let's take a look at the Lexus halftime stats. And there's one rather astounding statistic that we'll show you here.
The ability to make the deep ones. That's this one, huh?
And the turnovers 11-7. The assist, that's the one that shocked.
Unbelievable, Vern. Do you remember ever seeing 0?
No.
I don't.
No.
For half.
So you can only imagine the oratory that emanated from Bo Ryan at halftime. As the Wisconsin team out of the Big Ten trails by 9. North Carolina State shooting the ball from long range. Hit their first 6 of the ball game, and they wind up 6 of 9.
You know, in fairness, State has played great defense.
Right.
I mean, it's rattled them into the walks and turnovers and bad decisions. But if Wisconsin would guard the post like they typically do, they shouldn't be giving up those easy hoops around the rim.
See, Wisconsin has had 1 field goal in the last 10 minutes. Mike Wilkinson, who had 5 turnovers in the first half, back on the floor. There's a pass and the double team on Tucker on the baseline.
I'll tell you, that's great rotation. That's excellent defense.
And the misfire from underneath as Atzer came back to help. There's a jumper.
Look at this hustle. Quick to the ball, Brackman, huh? And Vern, this is just great defense. The switch out on this particular play. We'll see the slide to the open spot, and look who comes out. Hodge comes out, then they close the double. That's a heck of a circle I just made. But that was the idea. A little skimmer on me. My
There's
turnover.
The double on Wilkinson, and here's Hansen for the jumper. Finally, Clayton Hansen, the senior.
State better be ready to play, Vern. This team will not pack the tack, Wisconsin. You got to maintain your poise, your aggressive nature. They ran out on the three-point shooters and forced them to do other things.
And we just had a report that Larry Hunter, the associate head coach at North Carolina State, was taken ill and will not return to the bench for the second half. Here's a little runner. And the scoop shot underneath by Atzur. So Larry Hunter not on the bench for Herb Sendek.
A little kick here. Sorry to hear that, Larry. Longtime successful coach at Ohio U. They've just done a nice job on penetration, finding people, keeping it themselves, individual breakdown, but they have plenty of room to roam. They open that middle in this set.
Morley. And Chambliss saves it, tries to find Tucker. Quick hands of Brackman that time knocked the ball loose. And it's another Wisconsin turnover. That's 12.
And Bo turns right to the bench. He can't believe it.
Here's Brackman, the freshman out of Cincinnati.
Nice job by Morley. Got back in position. I think he caused a walk there.
Good defensive job by Morley. The shot unsuccessful.
And in the first half, they were selling out for gambling over the top, not regaining position.
Orlando Tucker guarded by Julius Hodge. Chambliss takes it, hands it.
Oh, can they use that? What a welcome sight. When he's on his game, there's a different team. 38% from three.
And a 5-point game with 17:39 remaining. Very positive start for the Badgers of Wisconsin here in the second half.
I didn't think they could play two halves like that, Vern. That was just a dilemma. Maybe nerves and great state D.
Brackman spin move, travel.
That's his move, though. Never established a pivot foot. Eddie Corbett with the correct call. A nice-looking prospect, wouldn't you say? Can shoot it.
6'10".
6'10".
Yeah. Also a baseball player. Will pitch for the Wolfpack baseball team once this season has ended. Now Mike Wilkinson.
Step and go by Hansen. They give him room to work, and he's got some power with the dribble. They like to space him, give him that opportunity. You want to double. He's an excellent passer.
Foul is on Brackman, and that is his third, so he's going to be replaced by Jordan Collins, first player in the game with 3 fouls. Tucker, Chambliss, Clayton Hansen, Wilkinson, and Morley for Wisconsin.
Bennerman doing a nice job on Hansen. He can't get free for a look.
There's Tucker off the glass and in.
Well, he and Wilkinson are so good using that dribble around the rim. Then you throw Morley, who's a good post-up guy, and right away it causes that timeout by Herbie Sendek.
The margin has been sliced to 3, Bill.
And using the dribble to get yourself to the 10. Solid play.
$16:38 to go in the game. 32-29. And a 8-2 Wisconsin lead.
A little life on the Wisconsin end of the ledger, and it's all because they've been solid defensively, moving the ball and getting some looks too, and not turning it over, Vern, because they had won this half, I believe. So valuing the ball, and State now offensively has got to get themselves going, find a way to get some good open looks.
This is as close as Wisconsin has been since they trailed by 2 at 11-9. (32-29). Wisconsin out of the break with an 8-2 run, and they've cut the margin to 3. 16:38 to go in the ball game. Engen Atzur joined by Cameron Bennerman, Jordan Collins, number 32, Julius Hodge, who's had a very quiet game.
Hansen's done a nice job on him. They try to establish him in the low post area. Now he moves outside, has not shot the ball well. Little nickel dimer burn
on Tucker. That's his first.
Put those pinkies in your pocket, huh? Well, they love to clean up the post play, though.
State, the inbound play for Julius Hodge. 1 of 7 from Veers. Hansen guarding him. And he gets this one to fall.
How about the size there? He took advantage. Loves to go left. Good use of the bounce. And then the adjustment at the rim.
Back to a 5-point edge at 34-29. Now the jumper from Tucker. Rebound in the hand. You could hear Benneman say, "I got it." Evtimov at the other end. Kicks it back out to Hodge.
And Vernon won't just jack it up quickly. Look at his penetration by Bennett. He does a nice job getting the rim. Cameron.
Just off the back edge of the rim, Chambliss finds Morley. Tucker wants it in the low post. He's being fronted by Hodge.
And there's that back screen to the other box, Wilkinson.
Wilkinson pops back outside.
Look at the rotation to the passing lane. Nice extra look.
Hansen for 3.
That's great basketball. That's Badger basketball, too. Chambliss, unselfishly, the kid.
Almost a touch pass by Sharif Chambliss. And a 2-point game. Last time the margin was 2. It was 11-9. Offense. What a terrific job by Clayton Hansen.
He does a wonderful job moving the feet, getting to the spot. The ability of Hodge using the size to knock it down.
CBS Sports exclusive coverage of the Men's Basketball Championship is sponsored by Lexus and by American Express.
Downtown Syracuse, New York, a crowd of better than 30,000 gathered here for North Carolina State and Wisconsin. 15:07 remaining in the ball game, and North Carolina State up by 2. Wisconsin now with a chance to tie or take the lead.
The State's got to step up their defense right now. Started the game in a solid fashion. Look at this double here, Vern. And a nice dive.
That's a great find by Tucker as Wilkinson comes to meet him. We are tied at 34.
Well, they can count. You got 2 on you, somebody's free.
First tie since it was 5-5. Entry pass underneath. Collins. Held ball.
Yes, sir.
Possession arrow, North Carolina State.
Good double, good read. Both clubs stepping it up defensively now. Just the understanding of where to be. I think they had too many people there. Atzer coming down to rake from the top. And Wilkinson with just an outstanding read, Vern.
Hansen, and the foul's going to be called on Hansen as he tries to defend Julius Hodge.
You can see the speed there. Just couldn't get in position. Hodge long strides and loves that left side.
First foul on Clayton Hansen. Hodge. Clean block. And Evtimov picks it up for North Carolina State.
Oh, they got the push
Offense.
underneath. Collins.
Collins. Vote for your Pontiac game-changing performance of each round. Nearly $150,000 of scholarship contributions on the line. Take action and vote now at ncaasports.com/Pontiac. 34 all. Badgers, Hansen, in and out.
They forced him to put it on the floor. It diminishes those spot-up shooters' effectiveness.
And they're going to get Morley this time as he as Collins are doing battle down there.
Yeah, interesting. I thought he was too high in the post-up to go around the front. Thought he should have gone to the back. He's a very heady player, though.
Third team foul. Both teams with 3.
Look at this pass.
What
a nice screen. Evtimov unable to convert.
Chambliss and Morley, Tucker, Hansen, and Wilkinson for the Badgers. And another chance to reclaim the lead, but denied by Collins.
How about that? Right shoulder had been bothering him. No problem that trip.
Now Hodge backs in. Here's Morley, comes to help on the dribble. They kick it over to the right side. At serve for three.
Well, that's what Hodge has been doing. You mentioned how quiet he's been. He's had, I mean, that's his 4th assist. Just solid distribution.
And Bill, each one of those assists has led to a 3-point basket.
Just to add a little to it. And they get Bennerman here. Nice job by Henson letting the officials know.
That's 3 fouls on Bennerman. So Andrew Brackman on the bench with 3. Bennerman's got his 3rd. And no move by Herbie Sendek. Morley. Orlando Tucker. Long rebound. Evtimov for North Carolina State. Now Julius Hodge.
You got to have a center that can make plays. And that's the big thing in this Princeton look. Evtimov is very good when he is the 5-man.
12 on the shot clock.
Got what he wants now. Oh, he had faked himself into a good spot.
Got Wilkinson leaning and then missed it. And here comes Wisconsin again.
Tucker posting up, taking advantage. They look to assist. Nice spin away from traffic, huh? Wow, drop step. Kipper!
Orlando Tucker, the game is won, 37-36. Tucker with 12 points. Hodge limited to 5 points by the fine defense of Clayton Hansen. Here's Hodge again, short with a shot. And Wilkinson with a rebound. And the Badgers with another chance.
You can see how much more solid they're playing right now, Wisconsin. And State has not been able to match that play on the offensive end.
Chambliss, Wisconsin leads.
Wow, where was that? It was dormant in the first half. But burned down, they got a little juice, a little hop in their step.
First Wisconsin lead since it was 9-8. And at the other end, off the mark, Badger rebound.
Good job by Wilkinson closing.
Sharif Chambliss with the 3 that gives them the lead. They're up by 2 with 11:03 to go. Now Tucker, quick step. Wow.
Get the lingerie off the deck, Vern. And look at this, they run into one another with the chest bump. I'd be out for the year.
Chambliss had the 3 to give the Badgers their first lead since the first 5 minutes. .41-37 field goal percentage. Both teams in the 40s now. Despite the 12 turnovers, they've only had 1 in this half, and that's been significant in this Badger run.
It's a whole different look out there. The change of attitude.
Roy Williams and the North Carolina Tar Heels will take on Villanova in the second game here in Syracuse. He's an interested spectator. The winner of that one meets the winner of this one. Knocked out of bounds. 41-37. Badgers lead by 4. .20-7 run in this half as Wisconsin has roared from 9 down to 4 up, and Julius Hodge gets a rest.
Gavin Grant, kid that can rebound, gets to the rim. Need a little spark.
Wisconsin hitting 62% in this half. North Carolina State only 30. Part of the reason why all of a sudden North Carolina State is up by 4.
And Vern, you notice no slapback threes either. They're really tight. That's a tough look, even if it goes. Wow.
Gavin Grant from way outside.
And a guy right up on you, too. Got to break him down.
There's a skip pass. Andreas Helming spotting up for 3. And here comes North Carolina State again. They have really been cold. There's a little elbow, no call made. Cameron Taylor's on the floor for Wisconsin now. Number 23, so also is Ray Nixon and Helming.
Helming's done a pretty good job defensively in here. They get a clean look, though.
Eftimov misses. Winner of this one takes on either North Carolina or Villanova. They will play the second game here in Syracuse.
Got to kick it out.
Harris in the lane. Gavin Grant back outside. Eftimov. No, he couldn't find him. Here goes Tucker.
Wow. And one. A mistake and a counter. Tell you what, they made that a difficult half court. You got Brackman coming in now, which is really a thing. I think he's got to score and no points. But I just think Tucker, the read here to get between, slither two defenders, take the little hit and finish. Their defense is just a totally different picture this half.
Orlando Tucker is going to go to the line. 16 points thus far. Boy, he's quick with that first time.
You've seen it in the low post. You've seen it out in the open floor. And right now, this is Hodge time. He's back in the game. He's got to assert himself.
Helmig very forceful as he went to the rebound.
Well, that's his game. He had taken that jump shot earlier. That is not his game.
Here comes Tucker again. Puts it up and puts it in.
He and Wilkinson used that dribble drive extraordinarily well.
45-37. Wisconsin's biggest lead of the ball game. They took the lead on a jumper from Sharif Chambliss for three. Into the corner. The drought continues.
They really are struggling at this point. Bethel in the game, a guy who can score. Fought through a lot of illness this year as well, Tony Bethel.
Tony Bethel, who, there's another one.
Get on my shoulder, fellas. I'm going to take it to the 10. That becomes a very tough matchup.
A 10-point lead.
There's that left again.
A foul called, a 13-0 run for Wisconsin, fueled by the sophomore, Orlando Tucker.
That first half, you never could imagine the game swinging like this, could you? In the doldrums on the Wisconsin end. And not typical offensive efficiency, turning the ball over.
Ray Nixon with his first foul. Hodge at the free throw line. CBS Sports Line puts you on the court for this year's men's NCAA tournament. Get up-to-the-minute scoring and streaming video highlights for each regional semifinal game at cbssportsline.com. Two at the line for Julius Hodge.
They've got to be more aggressive as they started the game state now on this defensive end. You let this team go side to side, their back screen to the box. Here's the load up low, and he just finds people.
Wilkinson, there comes the help of Hodge. Basket won't fall, but Wilkinson will go to the free throw line.
You notice, Fern, how they lift everybody when Wilkinson gets the basketball, and that gives him the opportunity to ISO down in there. Everybody gets out to that three-point line. He does the separation, doesn't get the roll, and they say before.
Fourth foul on Brackman. And this one's going to be called on Hodge. Andrew Brackman, the freshman out of Cincinnati, back on the floor for less than a minute and picks up his fourth. 1-1.
He's really never gotten untracked, has he?
0 points in the ball game. Had the big three late in the game in the win over UConn last week. Now Andreas Helmig, his minutes have been really limited lately.
Well, they've been going pretty much with Morley as the sixth man coming in up front, and Wilkinson seems like he can play forever, Vern. They don't have to take him out of the game. He gets over 32 minutes a game.
Now Helmig at the line. That's fairly rare.
Scored the goal. A little smile.
Oh, of course I meant to do that.
They all count. Red Auerbach said that's your best friend in basketball. Look at him.
Okay, he's got the H.
The backboard. He may have put a dent in it, but it's still there. A little kiss and a free throw. You need a shot doctor, right? That's a little softer.
He can't keep the smile off his face.
No.
Helmig gets two. The lead is back to 10 with 8:05 to go. The 6 seed against the 10 seed. And the foul is going to be called on Ray Nixon. That is his second.
And they have the double high. He can go either way. Opts for the left with a great deal of frequency and has the habit of getting nicked and getting an opportunity to shoot some free throws.
Hodge hit his last two. He's back to shoot two. 3 of 4 tonight. Really has improved his free throw shooting in the end. Hitting 87% in the tournament. There's his brother Steve, older by 11 years. Steve Hodge is 32 years of age. Got his degree from Southampton Community College. And Julius Hodge telling everyone he came back because his mother Mary insisted he come back and get his degree.
It's a great story. And right now he has carried this team to the end of the season into the NCAA tournament. And they need him this next 8 minutes to start lighting it up.
Lead is 8 for Wisconsin. Helmig looks for Wilkinson.
You don't want to gamble defensively because they'll do things like this, get to the rim.
Cameron Taylor, good defensive job that time, and here comes North Carolina State. Evtimov has it back. Hodge looks inside. Cedric Simmons on the floor.
Yeah, Simmons on the box.
Sets the high screen for Hodge. Back to Evtimov. That's off the mark. Clayton Hansen, the senior, with the rebound.
Simmons, another one of those big guys that can pass the basketball for State.
Here's Hansen.
See, now they're getting the ball wherever they want. Reversing, back screen to the block.
Helmig.
They don't double on him.
No. He goes baseline, and he traveled.
Trying to do too much.
For just a moment, he thought he had Mike Wilkinson's moves. 30,731 gathered here at the Carrier Dome in Syracuse. North Carolina State trailing by 8 with exactly 7 minutes to go. They were up by 9 at the break. ACC 7-2 with 3 teams left. The Big Ten 8-2 with 3 teams left. Michigan State and Duke playing tonight, of course. Rick Pitino 7-0 in Sweet 16 games, and they go up against West Virginia tomorrow.
Impressive, huh? Those numbers for
Pitino. Yes.
And West Virginia with a great win. They continue to amaze people, and right now Bo Ryan trying to amaze people with this turnaround.
He must have given some pep talk at halftime. Woo. As Wisconsin was down 30-21 at the break.
Maybe he brought hoagies for them. You never know.
North Carolina State yet to score from the field in the last 16. They're 3 of 14 in this half. Here's Hodge. Boy, Hansen has done a good job on him tonight.
Sensational. And this is a nice little play, the dribble move. Axer turns the corner. It's open in there with dribble drives.
Engenatzer has 13 points. Wilkinson in the lane, and they collapse on him, and a foul is called on Evtimov.
Yeah, nice collective meeting there of red shirts.
I tell you, he gets the ball and puts it on the floor, and there are 3 bodies on it.
Well, that's obviously you scout this team. That's one thing he does very well. And they want to give separation and let him do the damage. He's got 2 or 3 shirts around him.
Mike Wilkinson, a graduate, agricultural business.
Did you read the one story about the barn on the property that he really learned how to play?
Right.
Play the game. It's just playing with his dad, his
That's
brother.
like out of an old black and white movie, isn't it?
It's one of the great American stories, I think.
Blue Mounds, Wisconsin. Mike will get his graduate degree and head back to run the family farm. 4 of 4 from the free throw line and 51-43 with 6:22 to go. Hodge is going to go shoot a couple of free throws.
You hear the whistle. That's the intelligent thing to do. Let it up, and he's just taking off, taking advantage of the dribble. I would sit on his left hand, Vern, and force him the other way. Not that he can't do it, but guys have a preference.
Zach Morley picks up his 3rd. And Hodge back at the line.
These fouls stop the clock too, Vernon. It stretches the game out for State. Very minor detail, but important. I'm watching Bo over. He chats away. People in the front row, his assistants, always talking the game. A guy that I think he would coach anyway. He didn't care about the size of the gym, his wife said, or the size of the paycheck.
Well, how about yesterday? Bo Ryan remembering when he began his career as a junior high school coach, not a junior college coach. Here's Morley for two.
Speaking of a junior college grad,
right? Indian Hills Community College in Ottumwa, Iowa for Morley. He's in his second season with the Badgers.
And those three, Wilkinson, Tucker, and Morley, can put it on the floor. That's what separates them, and good non-call here.
From the outside, Evtimov.
Warming up the Yankton.
53-47, North Carolina State showing a little life.
Look how they all go down to assist on the post. Everybody's got a hand in there. Bennerman on Tucker, real good defender.
Here's Chambliss, good defense. Got rid of the ball and a foul away from the ball.
Evtimov, I think they're going to get down in the lane with the hold.
It is on Evtimov. And that's going to send Morley to the free throw line.
The last 5:20, Vern, you got to play within yourself. Don't just foul for fouling's sake. Play solid. This is when every trip becomes such an essential element of victory.
Zach Morley, dad, a coach. 1-1, not there. And Bennerman climbs the ladder and gets the rebound. 53-47, 5:14 to go.
And Bennerman is an athletic kid around the rim, too, Vern. Once again, left, and he comes back for the jump shot.
Look at Hodge, just like glue on it.
It's unbelievable. He will not back off.
Clayton Hansen has done some defensive job tonight.
And you know, there's no assistance. Here's a nice steal by Hodge.
Hansen back. Tried to take the charge. Hodge went right by him.
Well, you got to get it off your D. That's one of the few easy baskets for either club.
Timeout, Wisconsin. Just the third Wisconsin turnover. Let's go back to Greg Gumbel in New York. Mike Wilkinson has the ball. And there's a clean block underneath. Cedric Simmons knocks it out of bounds as Wilkinson went for the basket.
Again, the explosive dribble and yet the great counter defensively.
Wisconsin down by 9 at the half, led by as many as 10. It's now a 4-point margin with 4:24 to go. Alondo Tucker has gotten quite a rest. He led the comeback. Guarded by Gavin Grant. And Evtimov picks it up.
Now that's the second silly foul leading to the fourth personal foul. He had one earlier, a little bit of a shove in the lane. If you can't get there, just hold position.
4 fouls on the junior from Sofia, Bulgaria, Ilian Evtimov. And Alondo Tucker is back at the line. Double bonus now for the rest of the ball game. That's the 10th foul, and Julius Hodge comes on. Gavin Grant will go to the North Carolina State bench. Evtimov remains on the floor with 4.
Valuing his experience, probably trusting, got to play within himself, but he got 2 that were silly for him. at this end.
Tucker cans them both. 22 points, 14 in this half, as this Wisconsin team fought from 9 down to go up by 10.
And you mentioned the job Hansen did. Now Wilkinson's on him. We're going to switch back, I think, yeah. What this does, if he can play Hodge, everybody stays at home.
A little too strong as Morley was there and backed away.
He influenced, I think.
There's a block from Simmons again. Here's Hodge. Dishes left. Underneath.
It's the right call, too, Vern. Was by him, and that's Wilkinson.
55-49 here. Let's go to Greg in New York. .348 to go in this one. In regulation, 55-49. Timeouts remaining. Wisconsin has 3 left. North Carolina State 2. Herb Sendek in his 9th season. And this is a North Carolina State team that went through a tough stretch in February. January, they were 3-9. 13-10 at one point. Had to really win the big game against Wake Forest to get an NCAA bid. That came in the ACC tournament. 55-49, 3:48. And Bennerman's at the line shooting 1-1.
I think part of the reason they become better is this kid, Vern. He's complimented Hodge on the wing. One of those guys that can really guard.
Rebound, Clayton Hansen. Pressure in the backcourt. Timeout is called by Wisconsin. Bo Ryan comes out to chat with his group. 55-49 as Chambliss was trapped in the backcourt.
Nice little wrinkle there by State. Hadn't shown that all game. Caused the timeout. Smart play too. Get the timeout. You don't want to end up with the turnover. But how about what Bo Ryan's been able to do the second half with this team? I mean, they were not involved mentally, physically, turning it over with regularity, something he's not used to in his coaching career.
Ball will be inbounded by Zach Morley. It's Morley, Chambliss, Hansen, Wilkinson, Orlando Tucker on the floor for Wisconsin. 3.5 to go. A berth in the Elite Eight at stake. The winner gets either Villanova or North Carolina.
Oh, what a great play using the rim. He's quick and obviously with that physique can control the opponent. Terrific reverse layup.
Mike Wilkinson, 12 points. Back outside to Eftimov. He has not been able to do anything in this. And he throws it out of bounds.
Wow. They're really struggling now. They need some stops. See if they can create a little turnover. They ran that trap, or here they go again.
Yep. Here's Tucker. He'll back it out.
So they're so well schooled. They're not going to rush into a bad shot.
Whoops. Good defensive pressure by Eftimov, and that forces the turnover. He'll pull up and take the jumper. Got it!
How about Hodge again? If I remember you saying that's his 4th assist on a 3-point goal, and he knows where his partners in crime are. And I'm off with the deep one.
Time called, North Carolina State. And we'll take a moment to go back to Greg Gumbel in New York. (57-52), 2:41 to go in this one. Timeout called by North Carolina State. That gives them 1 remaining.
They didn't take the quick shot, Wisconsin, but the trap on Tucker led to the turnover. I think you'll see a lot more coming down the stretch. Letterman's looking for some help on the trap. Here they go. Ooh, they're gonna get
and a foul.
Yeah,
on Etzer.
Etzer right there. Really, you just have to stand tall, move the arms. You don't have to reach in.
And that's going to send Zach Morley back to the line as Etzer picks up his 3rd. Morley 2 of 3 tonight. Shoots 2.
64% free throw shooter. This guy's had a nice career, Vern.
Indeed. Maryville, Missouri. 2 years at the junior college.
He grew 1 year, I think I read something like 9 or 10 inches, and what's great about that is you have a feel of a little guy, and he does, and you keep it as you spring up, and he's got an inside game as well.
Casually drops 2 through. The lead's back to 7 with 2:28 to go. Winner of this one faces either Villanova or North Carolina. They meet here next. Hodge off the front rim.
Out of bounds.
Out of bounds, Brackman.
What a nice hustle, and that's one Hodge would love to have finished. Got himself really tight.
And the turnover gives Wisconsin the ball and the lead with 2:15 to go. Down by 9 at the break, and they will come back outside.
Nice job by Wilkinson with the pressure release.
Here's the senior Hansen.
And they're going to use the clock. Got to step through. Nice play by Etzer.
Hell ball, possession arrow, Wisconsin. Nice defensive job by Etzer.
Well, he's been right there on every play. Must have the wind knocked out of him a little bit. They need the Mappa crew. This is where Morley should step aside. The Mappa.
Yeah, instead he's right there. He may be drawn to it. So with the hell ball and Wisconsin getting the possession arrow, they'll inbound with 2:03 to go.
Now, Vern, watch the positioning of the Wisconsin guys when they need a pass outlet. If they are trapped, now it's just basic.
Chambliss.
Nice
oh, look at
pass.
Etzer. What a steal.
Give it.
Picked him clean. He's got 3-on-1. Hodge, yes.
Numbers taken. Pretty.
A 5-point game. Orlando Tucker. Morley.
Got to think about attacking, too.
There's Wilkinson. He ignored the open lane. Brought it back on. 1:29 to go. Hansen for 3. Not there. North Carolina State ball with 1:19 to go.
Well, the trapping defense has set up the opportunity for this kind of a deflection. Great play by Hudson. You got your numbers. You got to love your teammates for filling and helping you out. Nice switch to the left by Hodge.
Hodge with the layup on the fast break, and little mop-up duty required here. Bo Ryan's team trailed by 10 in the first half, up by 10 in this half, and right now it's a 5-point game with 1:19 to go.
And Cameron Taylor in, another ball handler, and a good defender as well as they match up size-wise. You need the quick hitters now.
And finally, Atzer picks it up.
A little cat and mouse there.
Way outside. A little smart shot.
I don't know. I think you got to make a pass and a cut. I mean, they've been able to dribble by. They got the timeout again. What a great job with this trap. Big and causing problems. Plenty of time here, Vern.
Wisconsin calls time with 1:07. They've got one left. 59-54. Here's Greg in New York.
Ooh, they get the giveaway.
.105 to go. The ball quickly inbounded by Wisconsin and a foul called. That's going to send Mike Wilkinson to the free throw line. It was Atzer's fourth foul, Engen Atzer. So here is the senior from Blue Mounds, Wisconsin, at the free throw line, where tonight he has hit 4 of 4. Those of you who have been watching Duke and Michigan State, we've got 1 minute and 5 seconds remaining. Interesting ball game in that North Carolina State roared out to a 10-point lead in the first half. Some halftime oration by Bo Ryan of Wisconsin. Wilkinson with his second free throw as Wisconsin jumped out with a 20-7 edge out of the gun. They were up by 10, and right now we've got a 6-point game. Wisconsin leads, 63 seconds to go.
And a little teaching at halftime, too. Hodge trying to set up Ettimore for that deep three. I think you just got to go to the goal a little bit.
Atzer misses. Ball tipped, and a foul is called.
I think on Ettimore. Let's see. Oh, they got a little. Hodge has got to be careful. Vern Harris just looked at him.
It's on Hodge.
It is. He's not very happy. Had something to say. Fortunately, he didn't get the tee.
Hodge, the senior from North Carolina State, limited tonight because of an outstanding defensive job by Clayton Hansen of Wisconsin. And Mike Wilkinson, the senior at the line.
What a great job they've done covering the threes, Wisconsin, too, not giving them the open looks. I think you got to go get the two quickly, and they're doing a good job pressing. They settle for that three. You don't make it. Puts the hammer in the opponent's hands.
Lead is 8, 51 seconds to go. Winner gets either Villanova or North Carolina. They play next year. Wisconsin trying to knock out the 10 seed North Carolina State. There's the long three, and the rebound comes down as Cameron Taylor is popped on the head, and he'll go shoot free throws.
I think it may be Brackman there. And that's it. It's 5 for him.
The freshman Andrew Brackman has fouled out. This is a Wisconsin team down 30-29, 30-21 at the half. Just under 40 seconds remaining. Wisconsin will go back to the free throw line as they have outlasted and come from behind. They were down 30-21 at the break and 20-7 out of the gate in the second half.
You know, State had opportunities to widen the lead in the first half. They didn't give some heart, some faith, some confidence to the opponent, and then a different well-oiled offensive scheme by Bo Ryan's guys. They got reversing the basketball, got it to the box. You saw some good quick moves by Tucker. Wilkinson as well, explosive with the bounce.
Now here's Cameron Taylor at the free throw line. He shoots 2 as Wisconsin is in the double bonus. This is a Wisconsin team that defeated Northern Iowa, then Bucknell. Bucknell, a team that had defeated Kansas in the first round. As he shoots the free throw, I'm thinking as they salted that win over Bucknell with a series of free throws, somebody, as Morley was at the line, yelled, "You're ruining a dream." And Zach Morley said after the game, "Hey, it's our dream too."
They don't want to share it. They just really struggled trying to make shots down the stretch.
Senior Sharif Chambliss, who was a non-scholarship player this year. Clayton Hansen. Mike Wilkinson with the period to the paragraph.
Oh, punctuation. Send it in. Dairy Farmer.
Badgers are about to advance 65-54. North Carolina State's season will come to an end. And here, unimpeded, Benneman for 2.
How about that elevation?
Final score, Wisconsin 65, North Carolina State 56.
Villanova and North Carolina, the top seed in the Syracuse bracket. Those teams will tip at 10:06 Eastern time, and then a minute later from Austin, Utah will take on second seed Kentucky. Greg Gumbel along with Clark Kellogg and Seth Davis. You know, these teams were both of these games were pretty good coming down the stretch. Let's talk first about the game in Syracuse between North Carolina State and Wisconsin.
Well, they trailed by 9 at halftime, did the Badgers, but after this 3 by Sharif Chambliss, it's a 2-point lead for the Badgers. Their first since early in the game, but the best player on the floor was Alondo Tucker for Wisconsin. He ended up with 22 points, 3 of them right there after the hoop, and he knocked down the free throw. It's a 6-point Badger lead. Then the quickness of Tucker allows him to get to the baseline. It's a 10-point lead then, but North Carolina State would not go away. Julius Hodge, who struggled only 4 of 16, puts his team to within 4, but too much of the Badgers. Tucker and this time Wilkinson got busy inside, and Wisconsin able to come back from 9 down to win it by 9.
And Wisconsin, the third Big Ten team into the Elite Eight. The Chevy MVPs of this game for North Carolina State. Engin Atzer with 16 points. Alondo Tucker with 22. As you mentioned, Clark, he came up huge for the Badgers tonight. Just a short while ago after the game, Bill Raftery had a chance to talk with Wisconsin coach Bo Ryan and Alondo Tucker.
Alondo, I know you'll tell me the truth. What did the coach have to say at halftime?
You know, basically, you know, we played the worst, you know, basketball, Wisconsin basketball, you know, in the first half. And we came out, you know, and it showed that we had to stick to our rules. You know, we had 20 minutes left, he said. You know, we had to come out here and show everybody and prove to everybody that Wisconsin can play.
Did you think you had a case of nerves? I mean, I've never seen your team turn the ball over like that.
Oh, yeah. You know, guys have to get some jitters out. You know, it's tough. You know, a tough crowd out here. You know, so it just took, you know, 20 minutes to get the jitters out, you know, but we can't come out there playing like that next game.
Well, congratulations. Look forward to Sunday.
Thanks a lot.
Coach.
Hey, you know what? His feet were moving as fast as he was talking in the first half.
How about this comeback? Now, what did you say to these kids at halftime?
To slow down. Like I said, Doe is very excited right now because he's real happy that we won. And sometimes when young men get into this, they get a little anxious. And those turnovers we had in the first half, I had to read the uniform again on the front and say, guys, at halftime here now, I'm not worried about me being embarrassed as a coach. I'm embarrassed for you guys. Now, this is not the way we play.
Both, thanks. Congratulations. We'll see you Sunday.
Thanks a lot. Looking forward to it.
So the Wisconsin Badgers, a 65-56 winner over the Wolfpack of NC State, a team which led for much of the first half. Here's the question I can't imagine won't be asked sometime tomorrow morning in newspapers across the country. With all of the criticism that the Big Ten has received all season long, what are they doing with 3 teams in the Elite Eight?
It's matchups, Greg. You don't play conference against conference in the tournament. There are 65 teams when this thing starts, and you play teams. You don't play conferences. So when the matchups unfold in a favorable fashion, you get it done between the lines. The Big Ten was down this year. There's no denying that from top, middle, and bottom, but their top 3 teams are solid teams and have done a great job in the tournament.
Do you get the impression Clark's mad at me?
I agree with you. The Big Ten's taken a lot of hits. They have earned the right to crow on this one.
All right, meanwhile, Michigan State and Duke, Seth.
Well, this is a posterized, I would say, Mo Ager over J.J. Riddick, 2 of his 14 points. Michigan State really came out at the start of the second half, started throwing haymakers, and Duke was unable to respond. Look at this great ball movement. Matt Tranent's going to get the layup for 2 of his points. Spartans lead by 9 at that point. DeAndre Ewing did his best to keep Duke in it with the steal. That 3 brought him back to within 3 at that point. And again, McGrath, Paul Davis was absolutely terrific. 20 points, 12 rebounds, 7 of them offensive, 8 for 10 from the foul line. And yes, Michigan State made their free throws down the stretch. Sheldon Williams fouled out with almost 3 minutes left to play. The Spartans believed that they could pull it off. They made the plays down the stretch, and they earned their spot in the Elite Eight.
And Michigan State will now await the winner of the Utah-Kentucky matchup, while Wisconsin will await the winner of North Carolina against Villanova. Those games still to come here on CBS, incidentally. We'll take a timeout and get back after this.